close look at how these, well, the body language involved in this. We want to talk about this now with OCC Professor Tony Wainwright, who joined us now, who's talking about and has been watching the debate throughout the night. What were your initial impressions here, especially Governor Romney, as we look at all the social media and everything that's being talked about? It seems like he came out prepared and ready to go, didn't he?
I think they both came out they seemed to have a goal, a way they wanted to come across, and it was mirrored in their body language. The shot there right at the beginning of the handshake, you could almost call it as much of an arm wrestling match as a handshake, really trying to start out by who's going to initiate control, who's going to keep control.
Get that hand on the arm. And,
hand on the arm on the shoulder is a very strong handshake, and kind of backing away first. And I think you saw that through the rest of the night as they kind of kept at each other in maybe a more legitimate way than we've seen in previous debates.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty effective on both sides in terms of how they handled the debate. The wives came out before the debate, the First Lady and Mrs. Romney too, and they had their own little moment of kind of a little bit of awkwardness, didn't they?
Yeah, I did find it humorous that they called it a warm embrace during the broadcast, and if you watch it, it was anything, I wouldn't call it a warm embrace, very guarded, lots of space between them. I would go much closer to guarded embrace than warm embrace.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, here I think we're finally getting to this picture here where they come over to each other, and
you can definitely see the space between not what you would generally see as a warm embrace between two people greeting each other warmly.
There was a bit of a contrast at the end. We don't have video of this, though, when both families were on the stage, and you could see Governor Romney introducing his granddaughter and his sons to the president, and that looked a little more comfortable. Maybe by then people were a little bit more at ease. I don't know if you were still watching at that point, but that makes sense, doesn't it?
It does, and these are very well practiced, very well polished politicians who do this on a regular basis, but there's still nerves at work, and they're still finding a comfort level there, and you could see them working through some of those nerves and some of that frustration throughout this as well.
Now, what about this idea that Governor Romney came out tonight with the clear plan that he was going to talk, and like I am to you. You're President Obama, and I'm Mitt Romney, and I'm going to talk right to you and make these points right to you. And then the way the television cameras picked that up, very often you saw President Obama then looking down and checking notes. And did that change any dynamics in terms of strength of who had the upper hand?
With body language and nonverbal communication, it's always going to be a matter of perception, and it was definitely noticeable, and with the camera angles, that often there was a direct address to the president, and the president wasn't necessarily returning that address. And I would imagine some people will see that as him not as impoliteness or not giving his opponent the attention that he deserved in the midst of a debate.
Yeah, and in the end, all this affects kind of how we all feel inside about the candidates, doesn't it?
It does. The experts will argue that up to 90% of the meaning that we decide on about a person is actually through their nonverbals or their body language rather than what they say. And so there's a lot at stake with how they nonverbally present themselves through their body language. And I think both did a solid job of it throughout the debate, with little mistakes throughout, but that's going to happen.
All right, thanks, Professor Wainwright from OCC, joining us for this nonverbal analysis tonight, although we were being verbal as we did the analysis, so I don't know how we could have done it otherwise. Thanks for being here tonight. Many of you have been commenting on Facebook.